Good morning to everybody. First of all, I want to congratulate the ETHICOMP organization and thank it for being able to participate in this Congress. My name is Raquel Garci Martin, PhD candidate in Industrial and Civil Engineering of Universidad de Burgos. My thesis director are Bruno Baruque Zanon, doctor, and Ana Maria Lara Palma, doctor. I would like to talk about the research I'm doing, evolution in the museum network and its use in the COVID-19 pandemic. After an introduction and setting the objective, the empirical study carried out on this current topic is explained, describing some benefit and considering the ethics in the networks, mainly during the COVID-19 pandemic, where the museum brought culture, science, and knowledge to the widest possible audience, concluding with the potential lines, such lines and conclusion. The city of Burgos is home of one of the few museums in the world dedicated to the human evolution, the Human Evolution Museum. It was originally created as an environment to show to the public the achievement of the archaeological research in the Atapuerca archaeological sites, but it was evolved to a landmark to the city, becoming also central to this international attractive and cultural life. The objective of this paper is to observe a positive impact on a society for the acquisition and accessibility of information and data through cultural digitization. Is in a museum and the way to the way for using new technologies. Knowledge management gives importance to the generation and transfer of knowledge as well to technology. An empirical study has been carried out in two routes. One on the one hand, a case study with interviews to experts, and on the other hand, a study by questionnaire at state level, where the great use of new technologies and the possibility of improvement if workers are training is detected. The use of new technology is in the cultural sector is demonstrated in line with the data obtained, that is increase the use of digital and technological training by 31%, enhanced scientific dissemination, but 26%, and requires improvement in implementation and usability of database algorithm by 35%. It shows the graph of data obtained by the questionnaire made to experts, with the data obtained for the survey at comparative study has been made between all the museums that complete the survey, consider only the museum in the Castilla y León region, and the third group consider only the archaeological museum. We can say that the museum worked possibility perceived that they have technological means such a database, web or social network to search organisms and or disseminate knowledge in 39, 40, 54 and 42% respectively. But they did not a lack of offer by the museum in course of new technologies or development. Its knowledge to improve the performance of its functions in 56, 72, 57%. The evolution of the increase in user and social network and the museum and visitor is so numerically and in as graphically as well. Is increased. Is choose such a current topic that no specialist literature has been found on this topic, and the one that has been found has been at the informative level. Although there were many digital tools, there were many novelties both in dissemination and communication, connecting public and private organization and society. The benefits provided by the museum when interactive with the user through digital media and social network open and accessibility to all citizens. It's to contribute to the growth of cultural society, eliminating knowledge barriers. Scientific digital social network had been an important advance in the dissemination of knowledge. In the scientific community, where more and more researchers agree on the need to be added to some it due to the significant advance of visibility and impact that they offer. A specific social network platform for experts accelerate the dissemination of knowledge and enhance multidisciplinary and collaboration, but I can also produce overflow of knowledge. The situation has repercussions for a cultural organization, such as archives, libraries, cultural exhibition, as well as museums. The use of digital media by museum contributes to the creation of online value in terms of efficiency, novelty, blocking, complementary. It even favors some performance measure such knowing the position of the museum for the point of view of the visitor. The use of social network as a means of communication requires an adequate strategy because it can have a negative consequence. However, due to the increase in the use of new technologies, new situations arise that could be interesting to regulate as well. One of the points in where conflict may appear is in the comment of the user reading a publication. User comments can bring more light to the publication, make inquiries or receive congratulations, avoid interrupting in the case of oral presentation, or give immediately when reflecting an idea, avoiding its forgetfulness. One of the factors that determine this behavior are the cognitive aspect of a person, so that the same publication is received by each individual in a different way. Cognitive aspects are those acquired by a person throughout his life due to multiple factors such as his training, experience, the culture that surrounds him, her, or the fact of living in one or another geographical localization. They are complementary to training and work experience. This is very favorable to have different points of view of the same information, but in the other hand, inappropriate comments may appear due to the substance or form of the same, and in some cases protected by the anonymity of the name of the profile shown. This is a complex circumstance that today for large companies became difficult to find the situation. To avoid this situation, for example, there are different semantic filters or closed groups. To monitoring of the data, the museum digitation is through fund and demanding, showing its transparency portal, while it does not harm the institution and benefits. In a social network, there is what the museum want to eat, to teach, or so, what is said about it, but also the comments of user, which can sometimes be classified as anonymous and which are a representation of society. These comments have also to be ethical. It's necessary to place in a vanguard to the technological ethical point of view in a society, organization, and governments. It reflects the importance of the use of new technology, common platforms that facilitate works, updating, searching, and communication, but keeping in mind the need for a technological ethics in its use. In this situation, ethics must be present in order to continue with the process of dissemination to both experts and citizens. But technical and legal issues also have influence, which is why there is a need for development of ethical policies and practice in the use of ECTs, which is the technology of the future and the present. For this, communication between research community and professional in ethics, information, informatics, and ECTs is essential. The work in 2020 has undergone drastic change due to the global pandemic. It has affected all areas. There have been changes in regulation issues by the governments and restriction of health administration, which affect the work of museum and research as well. But there have also been changed the devices to continue with daily activities, where creative in managing illusion and initiative, among other things, which human beings have development in this crisis, that have also been exceptional. Many of these contributions have been made in a digital media, using the internet, social network, or digital platform in order to be able to follow communication without the strict need of site presence. At the state and the regional level, are indicated during the pandemic the different measures and restrictions that must be adapted. But the museum also leads different initiatives to continue with the objective in pandemic condition. During the time that the museum remained closed during the pandemic, they continued to interact with their user and followers through all digital platforms and social network, promote the debates and scientific dissemination, book presentation, interviews, and different activities, among others. Museo Human Revolution has been able to continue to offer the product to all visitors, even in a non-physical way. Museo Atapuerca Foundation and the Research Center, with which the museum collaborates, promote their website and content, provide free content download, therefore resuming their scientific and cultural activities, and encourage users to continue getting to know the museum virtually with different hashtags like this. The museum become a meeting place with citizens. Zone is programming, providing science and culture encounter, albeit virtually, which favor the dissemination on knowledge to the expert and the general public, as well as contact between research and for research collaboration and the proposing future work. Offering the information of the museum archaeological sheet under investigation, virtual visiting activities, from the dissemination point of view, various publication, educational research of the Atapuerca newspaper. It's a newspaper monthly, frequently, mainly in a digital format with a didactic vocation, but is scientifically rigorous. It has a page in English and tests adapted for easy readings, among others. As well, a free application with the 3 routes of get visit in Spanish and in English. This is extremely interesting to receive explanation during the visit, and it really favors accessibility for people with visual, hearing or mobility disabilities and groups with functional diversity. Since it has images and audios adapted to people with visual or hearing disabilities, include subtitles and video in Spanish, signs language, and for those who cannot come to the museum in person. The analysis in this study generate many potential lines, such communication, education, accessibility, trust, equality, inclusion, or eliminate knowledge gap. As a conclusion, new technologies have come to stay. Its use can facilitate knowledge management in all areas, which also include museums and similar meeting place for culture and science dissemination among society. And a good knowledge management can facilitate its management and thus obtain numerous and varied benefits. Help cooperation, teamwork, efficiency, leadership, and the people and research to come. It reflects the importance of the use of new technology, common platforms that facilitate work, updating, searching, and communication, but keeping in mind the need for a technological ethic in this use. And thank you very much for your attention.